Level 1, the anomaly. You are 8 years old, but strange things happen when you get angry. You are standing in the outfield of a perfectly manicured Little League baseball game in suburban Ohio, but you are not playing the game. Last week, a boy at school pushed you, and without even trying, you pushed back. He flew backwards into the wall, and his arm snapped in half. You don't understand why you are different, only that you are. Your own parents are terrified of you. They whisper about you when they think you are asleep, using words like freak and monster. Today, a baseball is hit directly toward your head. You don't raise your leather glove. You catch it barehanded. The impact shatters the ball completely, and the terrifying sonic boom of your grip shatters the windows of the cars in the parking lot. The crowd goes dead silent. Your father walks onto the field. He doesn't yell. He takes you to the car, drives you out to a deserted forest, and finally tells you the truth. You are not human. You are a Viltrumite. You belong to an ancient intergalactic empire where weakness is considered a lethal disease. He looks at you with cold, unblinking eyes and tells you that your childhood on Earth is officially over. Level 2, the cull. You are 12 years old. You have been taken away from the comfortable suburbs of Earth and relocated to the harsh, unforgiving gravity of the Viltrumite homeworld. The sky here is blood red, and the wind tastes like dust and death. You walk through massive stone doors into a brutal training academy, where an instructor in pristine white and red armor stands waiting. He doesn't smile, he doesn't welcome you. He simply looks at the 20 children gathered and says 4 words. Only the strong survive. You are given no bed, no comfort, and told that if you ever show weakness, you will die. The training is absolute physical and psychological torture. You learn to fly, to fight, and to ignore the crushing weight of gravity chambers designed to break your bones. Every day is a test, and every single second is a life or death situation. You are forced to compete against the other children for food, for rest, and for the instructor's approval. There is absolutely no friendship here, only enemies. You quickly learn to sleep with one eye open. 6 months pass, and half the children are dead. The final test is the cull. You are placed in a stone arena with the boy you have trained beside for years. The instructor speaks from a balcony above. Only one leaves this arena alive. You don't hesitate. When the boy lunges at you, your fists and your pure rage become your blade. You snap his neck with your bare hands. The instructors smile. You feel absolutely nothing, no guilt, no remorse, which means the weakness of Earth has finally been purged from your blood. You are a true Viltrumite now. Level 3, the Vanguard. You are 18. You have survived the academy, and you are officially deployed as a foot soldier for the Viltrum Empire. You do not negotiate treaties. You enforce compliance. Your very first assignment is a primitive, highly aggressive planet on the outer rim of the galaxy. They resist the Empire's expansion. They send out their massive armies, firing heavy plasma artillery and launching explosive ordnance into the sky. You drop from the upper atmosphere like a meteor. You do not carry a rifle or wear heavy armor because your body is the ultimate weapon. You fly straight through their fortified skyscrapers, shattering their reinforced concrete cities simply by breaking the sound barrier. You rip their military commanders in half with your bare hands. You quickly learn that war on a planetary scale is not about anger or passion. The sky is simply a physics problem with lethal consequences for wrong answers. You conquer the entire planet in a matter of weeks. The broken survivors kneel before you in the rubble of their capital city. As you look down at their terrified, bleeding faces, you realize that you are a literal god among insects. But you also realize a dark truth. To the absolute hierarchy of the Empire, you are still just a grunt. You are merely a blunt tool used to expand the borders. To rise in rank, you must prove that you can conquer worlds with your mind, not just your fists. Level 4, the Emissary. You are 25. The Empire recognizes your exceptional intelligence and assigns you to a long-term, highly strategic infiltration mission. You are sent back to the planet Earth, specifically dropping into the United States of America. Your mission is not immediate destruction. It is to weaken their global defenses from the inside out, preparing their civilization for peaceful subjugation. You adopt a human name. You create a flawless legend, a fake life complete enough that someone could search your name in federal databases and find absolutely nothing alarming. You put on a brightly colored costume with a cape. You become a superhero. The American public instantly falls in love with you. You save passenger planes from crashing, you stop bank robberies in downtown Los Angeles, and you pose for smiling photographs with the president. The national media calls you the greatest defender of freedom on the planet. You live in a beautiful, quiet suburb, you marry a human woman, and you pretend to care deeply about their fragile, fleeting little lives. But it is all an elaborate, meticulously calculated act. You sit in church on Sunday mornings, holding your wife's hand, hiding a terrifying monster in plain sight. While they cheer for you, you are quietly watching the United States military, studying their blind spots, their response times, and exactly how their civilization holds together. You are playing the long game, patiently waiting for the signal from the Empire. Level 5, the turn. You are 40 years old. The signal finally arrives from the stars. The time for preparation is over. Earth must submit immediately, or it will burn. You do not hold a press conference to explain yourself. You simply stop playing the hero. You hover high above Washington, D.C., and announce that the planet is now property of the Viltrum Empire. The United States military does not surrender. They respond with terrifying, immediate force. They send everything they have. They scramble F-22 Raptors, the most capable air superiority fighters ever built. The fighter pilots have trained for years, flying at 50,000 feet and traveling at Mach 1.8. They lock their advanced radar onto you, utilizing systems that give them a picture of the sky no enemy can see. They fire a barrage of air-to-air missiles. You don't even try to dodge. You fly straight through the explosions, ripping through the jets and turning the F-22s into a falling debris field. Next, the military sends in the A-10 Thunderbolt II for close air support. The A-10 dives at 300 feet, firing its massive GO-8 Avenger rotary cannon. It unloads 30mm depleted uranium rounds at a staggering 3,900 rounds per minute. The iconic, terrifying sound of the gun echoes across the valley. You simply float in the air, letting the depleted uranium rounds bounce harmlessly off your chest and face. You fly forward in a blur and rip the protective titanium bathtub of the cockpit right out of the aircraft. The military commanders sitting in the Pentagon realize with absolute crushing horror that their conventional weapons are completely useless against you. You are single-handedly dismantling the greatest military apparatus on the planet in an afternoon. Level 6, the nuclear option. The Pentagon falls into pure, unadulterated panic. The president authorizes the absolute final option. A B-2 Spirit stealth bomber launches from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. It is completely invisible to radar, operated by two exhausted pilots who have trained their entire lives for a moment they hoped would never come. They fly into the airspace and drop a B-61-12 nuclear gravity bomb directly onto your position. The detonation sequence begins. The flash of the explosion is brighter than the sun, and if you are close enough to see it, it is supposed to be the last thing you ever do. The massive shockwave turns the surrounding skyscrapers into flying shrapnel, folding the concrete buildings like cheap paper. This is immediately followed by unimaginable heat and lethal radiation that destroys everything from the inside out. The entire region is vaporized into a glowing glass crater. The generals sitting in secure underground bunkers hundreds of miles away watch the satellite feeds in dead silence, holding their breath, desperately waiting for the nuclear dust to clear. The smoke finally settles. You are still floating directly in the center of the blast zone. Your brightly colored superhero suit is burned away, and your skin is slightly charred, but your highly advanced Viltrumite cells are already regenerating the tissue. You look up directly at the military satellites in orbit. You fly out of the crater at hypersonic speed, heading straight for the underground strategic command bunkers. The US government realizes the horrific, undeniable truth. They have exhausted their ultimate weapon, and it simply wasn't enough. The Earth officially surrenders by nightfall. You have successfully broken a world without an army. Levels 7, the pacifier. You are 60. The planet Earth is officially under strict Viltrumite control. Most of the global population is enslaved, working in massive resource extraction camps to fuel the Empire's endless expansion. But there are still small pockets of human resistance. The remnants of elite US Special Operations units refuse to quit. Delta Force operators, men who have trained to clear rooms in complete darkness and shoot around hostages with margins measured in inches, attempt a desperate direct action raid on your command compound at 0200 hours. They fast rope down from MH-60 Black Hawk helicopters in the dead of night. They use explosive breaching charges to blow your reinforced doors off their hinges in under 3 seconds. They move through the building structure in 90 seconds, displaying the kind of precision that makes conventional infantry look like amateurs. But human precision means absolutely nothing against a physical god. You walk out of your chambers. You don't even need to fly. You move faster than their human eyes can process the light. You tear through their advanced body armor, their weapons, and their bodies in a matter of seconds. In the bloody aftermath, you stand over the broken elite soldiers. You admire their extreme discipline and their unwavering willingness to do the hard work, but you pity their biological fragility. You establish absolute order across the globe through pure, unadulterated fear. If a city decides to protest against your rule, you do not send riot police. You fly through their infrastructure at Mach 3, collapsing their buildings and letting them dry out until they finally submit. You are a sovereign maker, a tyrant ruling a broken globe. Level 8, the executioner. You are 200 years old. Your flawless success on Earth has elevated your status in the eyes of the Grand Regent. You are no longer just a planetary subjugator. You are promoted to the Empire's elite guard. Your new, highly classified job is hunting your own kind. You are an executioner of rogue Viltrumites. Sometimes an emissary sent to a distant planet gets infected by the local population's weakness. They fall in love. They start caring about the insects they were sent to conquer, forgetting their sacred duty. You track down a rogue Viltrumite who abandoned his post to live a peaceful, quiet life as a farmer on a distant rim world. You find him in a field, laughing with his alien wife and children. You don't ask for explanations. You don't negotiate. You ignite the fight. The battle shatters the surrounding landscape, mountains crumbling under the sheer force of your colliding fists. He fights back with the desperate, frantic strength of a father trying to protect his family. But you fight with the cold, focused, methodical hatred of the Empire. You shatter his spine and leave his broken body in the dirt. You stand there and watch his family weep over his corpse. You feel absolutely nothing. No guilt, no remorse. Which is exactly how it should be. The purity of the Viltrum Empire must be maintained at all costs. Level 9, the High Commander. You are 1,000 years old. You now sit on the High Council of the Viltrum Empire. You have lived through centuries of endless bloodshed, conquered hundreds of worlds, and personally killed thousands of enemies. You no longer manage single planets. You command massive fleets of Viltrumite warships, managing entire sectors of the galaxy. You effortlessly dictate the shifting tectonic plates of intergalactic influence. You sit at ancient stone tables with the other High Commanders, deciding which star systems the Empire invades, which worlds burn to ash, and which species are permanently enslaved. But the Council Chamber is a lethal viper pit. Trust is a complete illusion, and sudden death is the only reality. You know that the other commanders are constantly plotting against you, sizing you up, and looking for any microscopic sign of weakness. You maintain a vast network of spies and informants across the galaxy. You execute your rivals in the shadows before they can ever strike you. You live in a state of terminal paranoia, knowing that in the Viltrum Empire, the only retirement plan is death. You possess unimaginable, world-ending power, but you are completely trapped in a golden cage of constant vigilance. Level 10, the Apex. You are 3,000 years old. You are one of the oldest, strongest, and most decorated Viltrumites in existence. You answer only to the Grand Regent himself. You are his personal hand, his direct instrument, carrying out brutal missions he cannot be seen touching. Trillions of beings across the galaxy kneel before you. Your name is spoken in terrified whispers from the core worlds to the outer rim. But as you stand on the high balcony of your fortress on Viltrum, looking out at the blood-red sky, you realize a devastating, inescapable truth. The Empire is dying. For all your immense physical strength, the Viltrumite population is rapidly dwindling, decimated by the Scourge virus and endless, petty internal wars. You have spent millennia wiping out weak civilizations, turning trillions of living beings into disposable numbers on a spreadsheet. You are the absolute master of the physical universe, yet you are entirely alone. Everyone you ever trusted eventually tried to kill you, and everyone you ever loved is long dead. You thought you were a god, but you were never the true master. You were just a highly efficient, temporary tool for an endless war machine. You are the apex predator, but you finally realize that you will spend the rest of your immortal life fighting, bleeding, and killing, until the day someone younger and stronger finally breaks you. The machine never stops. The cycle continues forever.